I now invite the dignitaries to take their place on the dais. Please welcome them with a round of applause. Mrs. Nalini Padmanabhan, the Convention Chairperson and Director of Prerna Educational Media Private Limited. Mr. Suresh Raman, the Honorary Secretary, Madras Management Association and Vice President, Tata Consultancy Services. Our guest of honor, Dr. Anjali Huda, Medical Director, Center for Obesity and Longevity, and author, Think, Eat, Live Smart. Our chief guest for today, Dr. Alka Mittal, Director HR, ONGC Limited, along with Group Captain Vijay Kumar, Executive Director, Madras Management Association. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Mr. Suresh Raman, the Honorary Secretary, Madras Management Association and Vice President, TCS, to deliver the welcome address.
Good evening to all of you. Hope all of you are having a great day. I personally, enjoyed all the sessions so far. It is indeed my privilege to be here to deliver formal welcome address during the validity section of the MMA Women Managers Convention 2019, being organized by MMA on the theme Reflections. Actually, I was part of the committee also, so we discussed a lot of deliberations we had on how we could organize this. So I really enjoyed the day. And you had the privilege of listening to a host of eminent speakers today, predominantly women, and from all areas of business and society, who are making a difference to their organizations, share their views and experiences on how women could grow in every area of our lives. Regarding women empowerment, this started many years ago and is evolved over time. Women today have much more freedom, choices, and opportunities than any other generation before. For whatever people say globally, we are one of the few countries who had women prime minister, women president, women governors, women chief ministers, and many industry CEOs and many rising women managers aspiring to become global leaders. We compare with other countries, but I don't think many countries have produced leaders of this. I think we undermine ourselves, that's what I feel. And similarly, I feel women also undermine themselves. I think many of the speakers talked about how women don't propagate themselves, don't promote other women also. I think we need to look at it. Men are not promoting women, but women are also not promoting women effectively. So many ceilings have been shattered, and women have taken center stage in discussions and decision making around the world. Eminent women CEOs, celebrities have paved the way for women leaders. Of course, there is still a long way to go before women have equal footing as men. As it has been brought out by all the distinguished speakers, Reflections today has been a collection on thoughts and beliefs that have helped women reminisce the journey of women empowerment in various fields till date and identify the road ahead. I keenly look forward to hearing the two women achievers here who will share their insight to showcase whatever they've done in lives, and women who live to push the boundaries that enable them to achieve great leadership positions. It is indeed my great privilege and honor to welcome our distinguished guest, Dr. Alka Mittal, Director HR, ONGC Limited, and Dr. Anjali Huda Sangwan, Medical Director, Center for Obesity and Longevity, and author, Think, Eat, and Live Smart, and they have come all the way from New Delhi in spite of their hectic schedule to be with us to address the women delegates during this valedictory session. I welcome the proud winners of MMA Women Managers Competition 2019. I would also like to welcome the invitees, delegates, members of the media, past presidents, and my colleagues in the management committee, young management students, and viewers watching this convention live from all over India. I'm sure all of you had a lot of takeaways today from the earlier sessions. And now, after hearing our distinguished guests here, you would probably reflect how it can be taken further in your career and life pursuits. Once again, a very warm welcome to each one of you, and I keenly look forward to hearing from our distinguished dignitaries. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Anjali Huda is a physician with MD in Internal Medicine from United States of America and a fellowship in Obesity Medicine, Nutrition Support from USA. She's been practicing in India for the last 4 years. Her expertise includes management of patients with obesity, with or without complex medical issues like thyroid disorders, diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular heart disease. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Dr. Anjali Huda to deliver the keynote address.
Hi, good afternoon. I should say it's post 4 o'clock. Good evening. I'm very thankful for MMA to invite me here to speak to these amazing women. I'm not into the management at all, but I'm a part of this because I'm myself a small entrepreneur. I have my own company. I launched it 3 years ago. So we are into wellness. I'm a doctor, and I'm a recent author of the book Think, Eat, Live Smart. And thank you. This is the book I have written. This is my first book, and there's no advice in this book. There is no download of one-sided information. It's actually for a common person to understand how to eat, what to do. There's so many myths. Should I drink water? Should I not drink water? Should I eat sugar? Should I not eat sugar? Should I eat fat? Should I eat ghee? Should I not eat? What is the best oil to have? There's so many questions everybody has. And you don't know how to feed your children. You don't know how to handle childhood obesity. There are, issues with women hormones. Most of the women after menopause think that they automatically will become fat, but it doesn't happen that way. So I've addressed these things, and you can read about the basic information about the hormones in the book. There is one chapter dedicated to just hormones, and a lot of women have this concept of thinking that if you're becoming menopausal or during perimenopause, when you're going through menopause, things go wrong. Yes, they do, but how do we tackle it? What should we do? What are the things to avoid? Everything is there in the book. But I can sort of still tell you that most of the toxins are coming from what we eat. So like our grandparents used to say, you are what you eat. And it's actually very true. Whatever you put in your mouth is going to be an informative, it's information. So it's not about just having, okay, today I'll have, I don't know, what is the dessert of Chennai? Paisam? Paisam, okay. So let's say you have paisam once in a while, it's fine. But paisam? Okay, it's I think it's a milk product. Okay. It's milk and sugar and something else? Kheer. It's like kheer in North India. Rice, milk and sugar. So that's fine. So I'm giving an example. Let's say you want to have paisam every day. Then it's not good for you. If you have it once in a while, yeah, that's fine. So when you're having the sugar and the milk and the starch from the rice, this is too much information for the body to process, and what it does is it actually activates the toxins. It activates your insulin, and insulin says, okay, I'm here, let's deposit fat. So that's what insulin does. So whenever you put a dessert or a sweet and a fat and carb combos, fat and carb combo like a paratha, so when you do those things, the body goes into a metabolic confusion, and then it starts producing toxins, and then you feel unwell, lethargic, you have body aches, and you don't know why all this is happening. So just imagine on the day you fast. I don't know if you do Karva Chauth in Chennai. You all do Karva Chauth? No. Again, let's say you fast. There must be some kind of fast you have in Tamil Nadu. Yeah? But we don't do. Okay, no problem. But if you fast, you'll realize that when you fast, let's say you're just on water for the whole day, you will feel amazing. I'm not kidding. You will feel amazing. A lot of people have this in the mind, but don't do it for a reason. Don't do it because someone told you to do it. Do it because you want to do it. Because the way when someone tells you to do it, you'll feel hungry. But if you want to do it for yourself, try fasting one day. Try this tomorrow, Sunday. Try doing only water fast. Oh, but Sunday is a bad day. Sunday is too much food, I think. But you can do it on a Monday. You can do it on a Friday. Friday is a good time. But if you can't fast, okay, let's say you can't fast even a day, you can always do something called intermittent fasting. There's so much information on the internet about intermittent fasting, and people are doing wrong things. So intermittent fasting is not for everyone, but I'll give you a small thing. If you started fasting for 14 to 16 hours every day and only eat between those 8 hours, you see how your body changes. But when you eat in between those 8 hours, it cannot be processed or junk food. It should be normal ghar ka khana. So when you eat those 8 hours, you can try it for a week. I'm not kidding. If you can try it for a week, it's not for diabetics at all. It's not for diabetics or people who have kidney failures. It is only for people with normal health or hypertension or mild diabetes who are not on insulin. So you can try doing 16 hours of fasting. So let's say you stop eating at 7:30 or 8 in the night. 8 to 8 is 12 hours, plus 4 is 12. So in the 12 in noon, you can break your fast with whatever you want to eat. Like you can say you can eat a brunch or something. If you do something like that, I can promise you, this is not something even, I have to see each person and tell them you do it, you don't do it, but you can uniformly, all of you can try doing this kind of a fast and then see how different your body starts feeling. Because we eat too much. We eat all the time. We see food, we eat it. There's this constant food available everywhere. You know, you pass through a market, there are chips. You go through a canteen, there are these sandwiches and pakoras, and you know, we constant have this food stimulation. And people keep cookies with them. Let's say you don't keep, but your colleague will have cookies. You get very nice boiled vegetable, your colleague is getting paratha. Then you're again, you know, you start feeling torturous. That, oh, what am I doing? Look at her, she's paratha and I'm fat and she's not. But that is not the case because everybody is different. We all have different sets of genetic structure. We all born to different type of people. Maybe from the same state, but trust me, everybody's genetic structure is very, very different. Like I can't be a kidney donor to 10 people. Body rejects. So you have to understand that your genetic structure is your genetic structure. So you have to look at your life. Don't look at a magazine and say, oh my God, look at that woman. Whose name should I take? Some actress, Sherlyn. Since Sherlyn is here, we'll take her name. So everybody's like, oh, I want to look like Sherlyn. Well, once Sherlyn is very young. Second, she's born to a different set of parents. Third, she probably watches her, you know, eating. And also goes for jogging or some kind of gym. Because that's Sherlyn, because that's important for her career. Most of us women have children, homes, career. We don't have time to exercise. We don't have even time to think what should be my next meal. It's very hard. So I don't want you to think all that. I just want you to understand whatever you buy from market, read the labels. Understand the food that you're eating. If you're eating too much carb in a meal, let's say you're eating dal, chawal, and I think what's a local food? Idli? Idli, rice, potato, all are starches. So all are starches. So too many starches in one meal, what is it doing to the body? It's giving insulin green light and saying, come, let's deposit fat. So you say, oh, I didn't eat sugar, I don't eat junk food, but if you're eating too many carbs, too many starches in one meal, it's equal to, all carbohydrate is equal to sugar. So even if you don't eat sugar, people who are pre-diabetes, who are diabetics, they keep saying, we only eat sugar-free biscuits. So sugar-free biscuits has no meaning because that flour, that maida that has been used in the biscuit is going to convert to sugar anyway. So these are the things I try to make people understand. If you're a hypothyroid, thyroid is a very, very rampant medical condition in India, hypothyroid. How many people have hypothyroid here? So it must be more in the north. So if in a room like this, if I had people raise their hands in north, there would be 50% of people having hypothyroid. But then it could be, I don't know much about Tamil Nadu. It's the first time, and I'm very happy to be here. It's the first time here. And I don't know what are the medical conditions, usual medical conditions of, state of Tamil Nadu. But it could be pre-diabetes, I don't know, because so much starch is being eaten. I'm guessing, I have no idea. Yeah, pre-diabetes or diabetes, yeah. So it's possible. So, when people say, okay, we eat 3 square meals or so let's say you're 50 years old. I don't know if there are a lot of young women, but I'm saying, let's say you're average of 50 years old and you're eating 2 chapatis in every meal. So that means you're eating 6 chapatis a day, or you're eating a bowl of rice twice a day and some sandwich in the morning, and you have a sedentary job, which I think most of you have a sedentary job. Nobody walks to get water from the well. Everybody is just sitting. So am I. We're just sitting all the time. So when we're sitting, we can't eat so much. We shouldn't be eating so much. Literally, we can survive in a 1200 calorie diet, all of us. But we are going way above that. Most of us are consuming 3500 calories a day. We don't count them. It's stupid to count them. I don't even say that count them. But please watch your plate. So in the book, I've explained something called a plate method. When you're eating, just think your plate is like a 3-section thing. I've given a website you can refer to. Please read that. Try and understand, because these are the things I talk to my patients 8 hours a day. Every patient I'm telling the same thing, 8 hours a day. So one patient, 45 minutes, same thing. I said, write a book, damn it. I can't say this again and again. So I said, okay, 300 rupees for a book, at least it saves me. A lot of people will ask me in the party, what should we eat? So I can't ever enjoy a party because everybody comes, oh, you are here, we can't eat today. So I can never enjoy. And then they'll come, I have a glass of wine in my hand, and they'll say, what do you think I should do for my stomach? Now I can say, buy the book. It has become so easy for me. Trust me, this book is exactly how I practice. It is totally from my heart, and I want you people to read it.